Hey everyone, Brian with you from the Game Comment. We're back doing our AI-only championship series. We are on to group stage 6, and yeah, so we're down to basically the final second chance group, and then we're on to the knockout rounds. So I think everything's set normal. It's been a couple days, and yesterday was Christmas, so, well, the day before Christmas. Basically, the last time I played the game was the day that I ended up screwing up all the settings for the Crazy Christmas AI-only series. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun. I definitely saved my files that I changed because I definitely want to play with that rule set. And I think I want to keep tweaking it here in the future, but we'll see. So anyways, I hope that everything is set to where it was before. I'm pretty sure we're good though. I think everything is like it should be right now. So anyways, in this group stage, we got Latara, we got Robert the Bruce, we got Pachacuti, we got Philip II, we got Gilgamesh, we got Peter, we got Gitaja. So there's a lot of big names in this. So we got a couple of the really popular civs. I think Scotland's one of the more popular civs. I think Pachacuti is one of the more popular civs. And then Gitaja and Gilgamesh are definitely some of the more popular civs. And then in addition to that, we have Peter, which is rather interesting because like he's definitely one of the favorites, and it'd be surprising if he doesn't make it through it, but we'll see. Without the dramatic age, maybe he'll do better. Same thing with Robert the Bruce. But yeah, so like he definitely is a favorite, so if he doesn't make it out of the knockout rounds, that'd be kind of crazy, or the original group stages. And then Lataro's kind of in the same boat. Him and Cree, I always sit there and talk about how powerful they are and how they usually almost always make it out of the to the knockout rounds. But yeah, Cree actually came in last place in group 2, so Cree's actually knocked out, and so there's a chance that we might end up losing both of those guys, which would be interesting. So I think with all that, let's load in, and we'll be back in 1 second then. Alright, let's try this again. So first time I loaded in, we were about 10 turns into the game, and then the game just froze. Like it's not like the game itself actually freezes, it's just like the turn just never ends. And then this just spins infinitely. So I popped down to DirectX 11. Hopefully that fixes it. The only mod I currently have on right now is the Better Spectator mod. So it's not that this time. It's not because I have other mods. So anyways, we got Samaria down here on the southwest. Pachacuti is then on the north side of this western side of the continent. And then Spain is kind of then in the southeast. So those three are on that one by themselves. God, it's so much slower though in DirectX 11. So Scotland then is in the northeast, and hey, guess what? He spawned right next to Tundra, but I swear, I feel like Scotland always spawns next to Tundra. That's just me. That's just me. Then Mapuche is down to the south of them, and then Russia did actually spawn in the Tundra all the way to the south. They also only have 3. Wait, should there not be a 4th? Yeah, where's Indonesia? We missed Indonesia. Oh, Indonesia's down here on the southwest. Did not see that there's actually someone south of Samaria. So everyone actually has quite a bit of room here. Indonesia's in a very interesting spot because they got a lot of room here to expand. Same thing is with Russia. It's going to really come down to whether Mapuche goes north or south. And here's the other thing. We don't really have too many people on top of each other right now. Everyone's pretty far apart, so I'm not going to expect to see too much early aggression. Samaria and Spain are about the only ones right on top of each other. Now, if Samaria could go to war here in about 10 turns after they start popping out some of their war cards, we could get some crazy wars. But as of now, maybe not. Actually, if Spain is going to go settle that way, Samaria is going to have to go to war. Yeah, Samaria is really going to need to go to war here just to kind of survive, I think. So what were we talking about pre-game freezing? Oh, man, what were we talking about? Oh, yeah, I was mentioning that I actually think for the knockout rounds, we're definitely turning dramatic ages on. I know some people hate the RNG, but quite frankly, it just makes the game so much more entertaining. I just find myself over and over again just like not talking about the game here without dramatic ages mode on because there's just like bleh. I mean, we could do the comments from the get-go, but you know, if you hate the RNG from dramatic ages mode, you're definitely not going to love comments crashing in and killing a civ in the first 5 turns. But anyways, yeah, that would be hilarious. Like, yeah, my civ is going to make it to the finals, and then turn 3 a comet goes and destroys them. I'd be like, whoops, about that. Yeah, that would be like, I don't even it would be like not even making it to the finals because you got, disqualified or something like that. But I do think that for the knockout rounds, we are going to go ahead and turn off the tech shuffle mode. I know a lot of people have been asking for it, and ultimately I was kind of against it just because I really didn't notice any big difference, but it does make sense from the standpoint of people being able to easily glance and see where... Are you kidding me? We froze again? What the heck? Okay, This is annoying. I am going to... Let's go back to main menu. And I'm going to try loading from the autosave and see if that makes a difference. Because quite frankly, I don't want to try this again. This is about the exact same turn, I think, too. But yeah, that's what happens. It just infinitely spins. And in fact, I think the game hard crashed. While I'm doing this, though, let me actually finish my train of thought. So the whole point is leaving the tech shuffle off makes sense just because it's like, oh, hey, wait, where the heck is... What? There's I was like, Control-Delete doesn't have it listed. But it makes sense from the standpoint of being able for the viewer to quickly glance and see where the AI is currently at in the tech. Which kind of makes sense because right now that isn't one of the things that is happening. Like, it's kind of hard to actually tell unless I pop into the tech and then take a good look at it. So I can see from that standpoint. But anyways, we're going to put a pause here. We'll be right back. So the question is, what is actually happening here? I have no idea because like all the settings are the exact same. The only thing that's different right now, okay, so we did move up turns. The only thing that's different right now is the fact that I have the coast, the comets hitting the coast. So I don't know if it's just like too much memory is being utilized and the AI, like the game just can't continue because like there's, I don't know, too much happening and it just can't like decide what it's doing. I don't know. I do not know. So this is interesting because it definitely looks like Samaria is about to declare war, but they're also fighting a bunch of barbarians. So let's keep an eye out over here. I assume everyone's going to get a golden era because everyone usually gets a golden era on the first turn unless something actually dramatic happens. Let's try getting rid of some of this and maybe see if this helps. Question is, like, who's actually going to do the war? Like, right now, I feel like both of their armies are fairly equal. Gilgi's got a little bit more, but he's also dealing with the barbarians here, which is partly why I think he hasn't declared war as of yet, is because he has to deal with the barbarians. Now, dude, man, imagine actually, like, the meteors falling and giving, like, just a free war card for Samaria. God, that's so good. It really is. It's also really, really good for the player when you hadn't even researched, like, heavy chariots yet, and you can just get a free heavy chariot. It's like, oh, thank you. Thank you. Or, you know, it's like mid to late game, and it's like, here's a free tank, and you're like, oh, all right, yeah, appreciate that as well. So these war cards are doing some work, but, man, those archers are just wrecking them. Yeah, he's starting to lose a lot of his troops over here. He's at 330, though, so he's building more. No war declaration yet. Or is there? No, they're just in each other's territories. Now, Spain is actually liable to lose his settler here, so they're both having issues. Are these all 20 horsemen, or are they 36? They're all 20 horsemen. I don't know what the difference is, why sometimes they spawn 36 and sometimes they spawn 20. My assumption is probably, so the barbarians and the troops that they spawn out of here seem to be based, I gotta go actually look at the XML files for this, but they seem to be based on the overall tech level, like an average of the overall tech level. I think is how it actually is planned. And so probably they just go to 36 once, you know, enough swordsmen and horsemen start popping out. I guess would be my assumption, but no idea for a fact on that. We got to take a look at heroes, yes. Ooh, Spain and Pachacuti got normal ages. Oh yeah, we're not playing dramatic ages. That makes more sense then. Spain is losing Valladolid. Valladolid. It's actually at 0, interesting. Yeah, how often do you see it directly at 0? That's pretty rare. And then Pachacuti. So both of the ones over here with Samaria, which would be great for Samaria if Samaria could actually, you know, I don't know, conquer some stuff or do something. Looks like Samaria is actually helping with the barbarians. Nope. Spain, yeah, they're at war now. So he actually bypassed Valladolid and is going straight for Toledo. In the scheme of things, that's fine. If he burns down Toledo, then Vala is going to flip a little bit quicker. So really not that big of a deal here. If he tries holding it, this will flip it quickly as well. I mean, this will flip back, but this one will probably flip soon too. So in the scheme of things, not really into the world over there. Russia, Mother Russia is looking pretty okay right now. Mother Indonesia is looking pretty okay as well. Oh yeah, we're going to look at religions, everything. So religions right now, we only have Russia, Mapuche, and Indonesia. There's still 2 more popping out. Which Russia, Indonesia, Mapuche. So Scotland and Samaria look like they're going to get it. Which is funny that Spain is not going to get a religion. Yeah, that's a little weird. Spain not getting a religion is... They're usually one of the more heavy, like, they're one of the ones here it's like, okay, they're going to get it. Himiko is taken by Robert the Bruce. Lautaro got Hippolyta. Milan got Pachacuti. And then Anasai is over there with Indonesia. So none of the ones here between Spain and Samaria, which, man, like Beowulf right now, like really any of the heroes would just be so useful for a war. So they Spain popped out some spearmen, but the spearmen aren't going to help against the war cart, because remember, the war cart doesn't take any negatives, which is why the war carts are freaking awesome. I love them. Don't they also do full damage to walls? No, I don't think so. War cart, isn't it like, yeah, I thought it was like that. No penalties against anti-cav and then 4 movement. Okay. I guess it's just stronger. Yeah, it's 30 melee strike, dude. Vampires and war carts. Oof. Yeah, that would be really nice, dude. That would be really, really nice. So Toledo's gonna fall. It's just a matter of time at this point. Is he gonna go raise Toledo? That would be the hope. Because Vala would then flip. I mean, Vala is definitely gonna flip at some point. How did you take damage here? Oh, did you? No, because you didn't attack the city. Oh, forest fire. Did he just kill his own war cart? Do the soothsayers, who I love calling the soothsayers, which, by the way, I'm going to go into the game file and change their name at some point. So it says soothsayer. Do they have 2 charges? Or they have 1 charge? I think he just lit the forest fire and killed his own unit. Ah, that's great. Yeah, they start with 2 charges. He just killed his own dude. What? All right, and somehow Toledo didn't fall because I pulled back. I don't know. Okay, well, Samaria, that was maybe the most disappointing thing I have ever seen. He was like totally in line to probably take both of the cities. Somehow ended up getting his butt kicked. Well, horsemen are popping out. That actually is going to make a big difference too, because the combat strength of the city is going to be a lot better. And then obviously the horseman is going to do some damage. So he must have already popped out a horseman. That must have died, and that must have been how he killed all these war carts. Because all of this was already at 26 before that horseman was popped out. So interesting. Can Spain go push? Yeah, I mean, he's got the catapult, and I actually feel like walls are not in a good texture right now, because no one's really popping out walls right now. No, they're smack dab in the middle. They're just being kind of lazy then when it comes to building walls. Yeah, okay, there's Toledo with walls, but Samaria hasn't popped it out yet. Once the walls get up, it's like GG at that point, I think. At least for the early game here. Catapult's gonna be able to do some damage, but you got a horseman here and you got a war cart, so like, there should be no reason. Unless just really bad play. The AI should not lose this, I would think. Or Samaria should not lose it. Then again, I don't know. Actually, maybe take this back. Because he has no walls, so he has no way to shoot with to stop the catapult. He needs to attack out right now and do damage to the catapult. That's going to be like the one thing that'll kill him. Instead, he comes out and goes straight for the heavy chariot, which I have to say is probably not worth it. Let's go see if you pull the kind of Samaria and set the forest on fire and kill off your own units. I can't believe that happened. That's pretty hilarious, though. You gotta admit, that's pretty freaking funny. Terrible play, but, you know, funny nonetheless. So, I assume Gitaja and or Russia's in first place. Pachacuti's in first. Peter's in second. Gitaja's in third. Robert the Bruce in fourth. Pretty much everyone except Gilgi in Spain. So, this is actually the first group in a couple group stages in which people that had a good start are actually doing well in score. Recently, it's been like, oh, that's a terrible start for you, and then they actually turn out to do a pretty good job with their terrible start. But now, actually, the people with terrible starts, like the people spawning right next to each other, are actually struggling. Now, Samaria is in a very, very, very bad spot. They're about to get warred by Pachacuti. Did they get warred? No, not yet. I don't think Pachacuti's come to Spain, surely not. That would be dumb. Getting the walls is extraordinarily useful. That might keep him alive. Isin needs those walls too. I don't know what's happening here, but he's okay. Samaria flipping that is also going to be very good, but 12 turns. He's going to need another golden era. I don't think he's going to get it. I suppose as long as Spain doesn't get a golden era, if Spain gets a dark era, he might be okay. No unique units. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I'm assuming both are going to get normal ages, would be my guess. Pachacuti got a golden era. Samaria got a dark age, or Spain got a normal age. Alright. And Pachacuti just declared war, it appears. Yeah, Pachacuti declared war, so he ended up piecing out Spain. I would actually have to guess that Spain, Samaria probably ended up paying Spain for a peace. Because I feel like Spain had the advantage in that. Which is kind of disappointing if you're a fan of Samaria, which I am personally, but, you know, because that war was going so well. And, like, there was a time where they probably could have pieced out Spain for a decent amount of cash, and then they ended up just getting absolutely crapped on, and now they have Pachacuti declaring war on them because they have no army. Anywho, I wanted to take a quick look at the religions here. Only 4 or 5 still. So Russia, Mapuche, Indonesia, and Spain. So Spain did get one. Not surprised by that. Then someone has a great prophet, just hasn't... Someone has the 5th great prophet. So Spain and Pachacuti we already saw, right? So is it Scotland then? Yes, so Scotland has the other religion then. So Samaria ended up missing out on the religion. Then as for the heroes, who was new? Arthur was Samaria. They're going to actually need that. Unfortunately, they have no troops to use. But, I mean, he's got 60 melee strength, so he's not bad. But Pachacuti does have Maui. And he's got a 56 melee strength. Too bad he lost Mulan, because Mulan would be really useful here. Having 2 heroes, like, oh, so good. So good. Is there anything else we wanted to look at? I mean, we should probably take a quick look at yields. Samaria's not doing that great with science. Interesting. Interesting. I mean, I suppose he didn't really spawn with any deserts, so that's probably why. So he doesn't have any of his... he does have a ziggurat, but usually still, even without it, they get a ton of ziggurats popping out, and they start going a little crazy. So right now, it's Pachacuti and Gitaja, 1 and 2 in science. Pachacuti is no surprise, just because he has all the sexy campus locations, because he spawns next to the mountains. Hercules got claimed by Peter. Peter is in a very good spot. Going for Kuguna as well, but yeah, Peter's looking really good. Now, we're going to see if Mapuche is going to let him keep expanding, if he's going to come down here. I assume they're going to be at war with each other at some point. Now, Mapuche and Scotland, a little less likely to see war, because there is some water between here. Now, can we talk about a freaking Golden Gate, like, right here or there? Like, oh my god, yes, please. Please, 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 please. Gitaja, what are you up to? So, she is... probably a little bit behind right now. I don't feel like she's popped out as many cities as she could, and I have no idea where you're going with this current settler. I suppose down there, but why? Why? Like, if I'm Gitarja, and I'm fairly certain Gitarja sees most of this. We'll click on her and see what she can see. Yeah, she already knows about all of this. I would be, like, putting a city as far up here as possible. It's a little dangerous, but, like, you gotta kind of, like, lock in this whole peninsula area. Because, like, seriously. And also, can we talk about the crazy good canal here? So, this is wood, so you can actually canal through here. And we might actually see that. Depending on where the AI puts the city, we might actually see a canal here. Which I'm down for. Okay, how goes Pachacuti? Yeah, he ended up getting pushed back. I wasn't surprised. That's part of the reason we didn't pop up. Once the walls came up, it was like, it's very unlikely for that, for the war to actually end up resolving in Pachacuti's favor. Now, crossbows are good. They're going to be able to do some damage, but crossbows are better defensive than they are on the offensive. So I've been thinking, because I was having a lot of fun with the XML file, I'm like, man, I really feel like I should do a Brian's balance patch. A Brian balance patch. Like, there's just, like, some things I just want to, like, put in the game or just, like, adjust. But I don't, man, it's going to take a lot of time, and I don't know what I'm doing. And some of the stuff, I don't even know if I know how to actually fix. But, like, I don't know. I feel like I have the tools from, like, a figuring things out standpoint that I could actually figure out to, like, how to help balance the game a little bit more. I don't know. I think I would definitely want to add in trebuchets. And this wouldn't be so much for an AI only series as much as it would be just for, you know, playing. And I definitely love, like, man, we're gonna, in our future series, might probably play with the chaotic game mode that I currently have turned on, because I just love it. It's a lot of fun. It's just great having comets fall. Although we live streamed Christmas Day, and we, of course, randomed Khmer, because, you know, the game hates me. And then on turn 52, we ended up losing the game because Comet destroyed our last city. So, like, it was like turn 20 or something like that. We ended up losing our capital to a Comet, which was irony because we spent like 20 minutes like talking about our capital location, whether we were going to go on like tile 1 or tile 2, and then we picked the 1, and then the Comet came and hit it. And I know technically the targeted Comet was going to hit my capital on whatever tile it was on, but still there was a certain irony about, you know, us talking about what tile to put it on and then it getting destroyed. So we're like, well, all right, our next city, we're just going to go put in our, you know, where the original capital was, but just then 1 tile south, because it was just a targeted Comet, and that other tile was nice. And so before we could actually pop out our another dude, then we got absolutely destroyed by another comet on turn 52. Irony was we weren't even in last place because Gorgo got knocked out on like turn 3 because a comet hit them. And oh, hey, guess what? The game froze again. Oh, what is going on, man? Oh, yeah, this is frustrating. All right, well, we'll be reloading and we'll be right back. I just now realized as I was loading the game, I'm like, we never set this for 315, but oh well. I mean, it's not that big of a deal because we can always just pop out, and we'll get the losing screen if someone wins before 315. So, anyways, what else would we do with the balance patch? Well, I was thinking about it. I think a lot of the older civs, like Spain, for example, I'd want to go in and like tweak some of their units and buildings and stuff just to make it give just a little bit more power on some of that early stuff. Because like definitely the newer civs definitely seem to have the advantage over the older civs. And I think just part of it is it's like, oh, hey, we got newer things. So I don't know if it would be super easy to actually like kind of balance that. Like, I mean, not all of them. Like Russia wouldn't need any balancing, but like Spain, for example, is a very good example. Like, would bumping up the conquistadors make them a little bit better? Would making the mission a little bit better really, like, improve them? I don't know. I'd have to spend some time really thinking about it. I think we could, like, actually, like, balance it, though. Maybe just change, like, their leader ability. What is Spain's leader ability again? Which is funny, because don't we have currently a Spain series going on right now? May form fleets and armada earlier than usual. Well, depends with mercantilism. Trade-outs between multiple continents get bonus gold. See, that's just Inquisitors can remove heresy. I'd probably actually just change that and maybe just have apostles get +4 combat strength. Like that, I think would make them just 10 times better. Because like Inquisitors just, I mean, aren't really worth it personally. But at least, or I could just go balance and make Inquisitors go on the offensive or something like that, you know, in the balance patch. Other thing is, I think I would want to change it to like aqueducts and maybe like any of the bonus districts, right? Those are bonus districts, not specialty districts, but basically make them a little bit cheaper. Because right now, like a lot of times, sometimes it's worth it to build aqueducts and stuff like that, but like if they were a little cheaper, I think it would be worth it to get them out a little bit quicker. They're just like, they run pretty expensive, and so it's like, do I really want to waste like 15 turns building an aqueduct, when instead I can waste 15 turns to get like something that'll actually help me win the game? Whether, you know, maybe it's a couple units, maybe it's an extra campus, like, yeah, it's just like, it just doesn't necessarily fit. But if all of a sudden it's like 7 or 8 or 9, you know, turns to build an aqueduct, then yeah, it might be worth it, because then your city can grow, and that actually, I mean, obviously it could grow anyways, but like, you know, just not having it cost as much, I think would make it worth a lot more. I think it would just be like little things like that. I would definitely need to just start like writing down a bunch of notes. I'm not saying I'm gonna do it, but man, I don't know. I'm very much enjoying screwing with the game files though. And it's like, oh, this actually isn't so bad. Although, you know, there's definitely going to be times where it's like, I'm going to pop in and be like, I have no idea what I'm looking at. So what's our score we're looking at right now? Speaking of things we're looking at. Pachacuti's still rolling in second. Peter's still in first. Not surprised by that. Pachacuti still has a lot of room to grow. So he's doing really good. Guitarja still has a lot of room to grow. Now, what's interesting is Spain does take Cardiff. Can they, though? I don't think they can. I don't think this is enough to bring down the walls. I would maybe also reduce the cost of medieval and ancient. Like, I was thinking about maybe even reducing the cost of all the walls. But then the AI is going to bring the walls up quicker. And it's like, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. If you could, like... What if a military engineer could actually help you build walls quicker? That would be interesting. Because then at that point, it might be worth it to elevate your walls past tier 1. I just don't ever see the need to actually get anything greater than ancient walls. Because quite frankly, the idea is not for your city to actually survive a siege and actually be getting hit. You'd want to have enough troops to actually fight outside your city. And then you kind of just want the ancient walls there just to have an extra archer, essentially. My ideal plan for walls, which I wouldn't be able to implement, is I would love for you to actually be able to wall in more than like one tile. Like eventually just be able to like put multiple tiles in. But your walls wouldn't actually be able to do any damage. But then you could actually have like potentially like, let's say 4 units behind the walls. So you could actually put a bunch of archers behind it or stuff like that. And then in addition to that, you can actually put certain tiles behind the walls to help protect them as well. I always thought that would be a really cool change. Although, I think, and that's what I would do, so instead of having, like, I would definitely bump up the HP, but I would say, like, ancient walls just cover your main city center. I think medieval walls then would cover, like, one additional tile, where then, you know, Renaissance walls then cover, like, an additional, like, 2 tiles or something like that. You know, really kind of balance it that way. Beowulf got claimed by Lautaro. Lautaro's not currently fighting anyone. What? Brussels is fighting Spain? No? Who is this? Cardiff is currently... What the hell is Cardiff? Cardiff is over there. They're currently naval invading Spain. What? Alright, so Spain did end up grabbing Cardiff eventually. They brought some more troops. Okay, that was just really weird. It was like, wait a second. The city-state is going on the offensive, man. What the heck? Mapuche has Beowulf, which is going to help them kill off these barbarians. How strong is Beowulf right now? I can't look when the game's actually not running. Beowulf is at 72 combat strength, so he can just instantly destroy any of these troops without actually fighting them. So we'll see if that works. I was going to say this courser is going to have a really bad time, though, against the musketmen. So you just did not use Beowulf's ability, and instead you just sacrificed your unit. All right, sure, that's fine. Russia is just, like, getting kind of crazy. And Indonesia, man, I don't know what's going on with them. Yeah, I don't quite understand Indonesia right now. She ended up losing a settler, which is just wide open for the taking, basically. I have no idea. She just seems maybe like she lost too much of her army, maybe to barbarians, and maybe that's why she's a little bit behind. Samaria is also running around here. Dude, look at all the floods already. Oh my god, what tier are we on? Dude, all that was like tier 1. Ugh. Ugh. But Samaria's got a settler, but nowhere to place the settler. So, I have no idea how long this episode is, since this is like now part 3. So we're gonna go to like 175 or so, which is usually around the time we end up with the first episode. And I can almost guarantee you we're gonna end up just like probably not watching everything here. At some point next episode, we'll end up just like letting the game kind of run in the background while, you know, we're off camera. Just because it's like, it's just gonna be a continuation of just not a whole lot happening. We really should have potentially not done standard map on all this. Just so that there would be a little less room so people would end up, you know, getting on top of each other a little bit more. But, alright, so we got Samaria again v. Spain. Spain's got the unit advantage right now, or at least the tech advantage. Well, at least on their units. Do they actually have a tech advantage? No. Gilgi with only 102. Pachacuti at 221. Pachacuti's looking really strong. Still 1-2, I assume? Yes. And I assume Empire is one of the biggest factors. Yeah. Wonder score. So you got 5, 3, 3, 1, 3, 4 actually for Samaria. Okay. Interesting. It's not over yet, but it's definitely not as close as some of the other games. I do feel like Scotland might have a chance here, though, too, because they still got a lot of room. I mean, here's the thing. There's a lot of room left for pretty much everyone. I think Russia has pretty much taken all of their... See, this is like the biggest deal why Russia's so overpowered, especially if they have a lot of room to settle. Because every time they put down a city, they just get like an extra couple tiles, which just gives them just like, so much extra empire size. It's so great. But they're basically almost out of room right now. Looks like they actually declared war on Mapuche. Okay, then. Okay, then. I don't think much is going to happen, although Mapuche doesn't have walls here. But, like, you're talking 72 garrison defense strength. Like, yeah, good luck on that. What did he build that has a 72 defensive strength? The Malin Raider's at 55. Beowulf doesn't calculate into it. Neither would Hippolyta. Yeah, and he's got Beowulf and Hippolyta. And the Malin Raiders. Did you really think this one through, Russia? Yeah, I'm thinking that was not a smart play. Not a smart play. He's got a strong army. But, yeah, I mean, he's got frigates trapped down here in the Arctic. Yeah, he's not really in a position to do much. Okay, so Samaria ended up settling right there. Interesting. That might help Indonesia. We'll see. We'll see. Pachacuti still got a lot of room to grow. Really, honestly, Scotland could catch up. They got enough room. Like, Lautaro's not over here, and especially with Lautaro fighting a war, you really have Sinbad stuck in the freaking... Yeah, whatever. Oh no, he missed out on the Hue. That sucks, because that was going to be a really strong Hue for him. Yeah, because he had quite a few lake tiles. Who ended up building Hue then? Russia? Mother Russia? No, Russia did not build it. Spain? Yeah, Spain got it. Still not bad for Spain, though. Yeah, they got a decent number of lake tiles, too, so. But I think Scotland has enough room, though, to catch up empire-wise. Getting a couple wonders would be helpful, too. And they ended up with the religion as well, right? Scotland, yeah, Spain, Indonesia, Mapuche, Russia. So, Pachacuti's now in first place. Interesting. But Pachacuti doesn't have a religion. Russia ended up losing one of their towns. And they're about to lose the second town. I mean, you're fighting the Malin Raiders. You're fighting against Hippolyta and Beowulf. I am not at all surprised by that. No, yeah, not at all surprised by that. All right, new era is going to be kind of big here. Russia needs to avoid the town flipping, which is not happening. They ended up in normal age. Everyone got a normal age. All right. So if this war... they'll be okay. They'll be okay. Dude, are you pieced? Bad time for a piece, man. Bad time for a piece. All right, so that set Russia back, but not really that big of a deal for them yet. We'll see how the game goes. So Indonesia lost the settler and then basically just decided to never build another settler. Also, it appears as if they're going to go to war against Spain? Yeah, they declared war on Spain. Interesting. Pachacuti got another hero. Does that change stuff? Oh, Cardiff actually got flipped. Oh, so there was an emergency then targeting Cardiff. And it got released back as a city-state. And so they might still just be at war because of that then. Interesting. She's not going to be able to do much about it. The bigger concern is the fact that she's not popping out settlers right now. And she's about to get invaded by barbarians. And she doesn't really have any troops at home. So, yeah. And in fact, Samaria might be able to just come in here and start filling in this stuff instead. Okay, then. Mapuche cut off Russia. Russia did settle over there. But that's going to flip over to Mapuche. So Mapuche is actually catching up here. He now passed Scotland. Dude, Scotland, come on, buddy. 2 turns there. That's going to give him an extra 15 points. Okay, so that's going to put him almost on pace here. I am trying to figure out, did he have his unique unit? Yeah, I mean, he should have a lot more room than this. He should. What's Pachacuti's army at compared to Scotland? 646, 377. So he's... Pachacuti's with AT crew. Because he's got the science, too. I'm thinking Robert the Bruce probably doesn't even have the science. Nah, Pachacuti's just cruising. Ugh, Robert the Bruce, man. Kind of having a disappointing game. Especially considering you have the city-state right next to you that's scientific. Oof. 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 We should probably wrap this episode up here, then. Let's take a quick look before we pause and see where everyone's at. So, Lautaro currently is not at war with anyone. Scotland's not at war with anyone. Pachacuti's not at war with anyone. Spain ended up piecing out. Gilgi is allied with Gitaja. Interesting. Is that a cultural alliance? Can we see that? I'm thinking that's what it is, and that's why Samaria's not losing the city, which I was kind of wondering about. No, they are getting loyalty pressure, it looks like. Yeah, they are getting loyalty pressure, so it's not a cultural alliance then. All right, well, okay, worth noting. Also, man, dude, Indonesia started here with Mount Ramia right there, however you pronounce it. Dude, like, she had such a good start. I mean, not a lot of production, I'll admit, but still, especially with all this room here, like, so disappointing. And Samaria is actually going to come here and end up settling more than Indonesia. So Indonesia really dropped the ball on this one. Is Samaria going to be able to catch back up? I mean, if he starts filling in all this, perhaps. Perhaps, but him and Spain are also competing on it. I don't know. Really, honestly, at this point, like, I think Pachacuti's safe. I can't imagine anyone being able to take on Pachacuti because A, he's got a massive army size, B, he's got a massive tech advantage. Like, if we were to look here, he has 49 techs, so he has 9 tech advantage over anyone else. So he's just cruising in tech. So it's very unlikely that anyone's going to be able to do anything to him, especially with an army at, 736. He's good there. So then what this means is if anyone's going to come up and catch up, they're going to have to basically hope that Peter either slows down, which, I mean, at this point, they really can't settle anywhere else. But then they really are going to have to hope that Mapuche comes and starts doing some crap to them. because then at that point, maybe they have a chance to catch up. But I don't know. I don't know. Also, too, comments. Comments are going to come in at some point. But for now, I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, drop a like, comment. Let me know what you think. As always, hit the subscribe button. Join the game, come in. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye, everyone.